There you have it.
Very
Well,
I
nice.
love
thank
that.
you.
I
It's
love
kind of
that.
a
That's great.
well. It's again.
That's
You can imagine a whole bunch of percussion players with me, and then you'll know.
oh yeah.
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 So.
Well, singing and doing the Latin, you did a great job of it. I didn't hear any problems with it.
Well, I'm starting to get a lot of practice doing this by solo because in fact the first Facebook Live we did, I was supposed to have the band over and we were going to give a little bit of a sneak preview of what the songs
Mhm.
sound like, and they couldn't show up. So
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
So what else you got here? You
well,
got another song you're gonna
I
do?
do. I just wanted to tell you what a nice memory I have of playing at Steamers before we go on,
Oh,
because
thank you so
Terrence,
much.
we always said Terrence Love, he's got a lot of love because he really, I'm sure you've been told that before, but really, you always made us feel so at home, and your crowds were so responsive. I mean, it was just,
Yeah.
you know,
You used to play. Who was it? Pat Kelly on who was on guitar,
uh huh.
and maybe Renee Camacho
Rene
on keys.
Camacho and Jimmy Brandley on drums.
Jimmy Brandley. Yeah.
Oh yeah, killer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That goes way back. You must have been a teenager at that time,
Oh,
right?
I was. I was 21.
Yes. Yes. I was just a
Well,
year older than you, I think. You know.
well, it's funny because I play a little bit in LA, but I'm a lot in Japan and in Canada and
Mhm.
some places around the U.S. too. But anyway, it'll be nice to get back on the road. I have to say, it's really strange. I'm sure a lot of people who've been on the show have said this as well. It's just so strange to look to the end of the year and have signed contracts and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just, but I believe that necessity is the mother of invention, and I think that there's, that we'll find different ways to, stage concerts and do become really creative, I guess.
I realize that
Beautiful.
tonight is exactly 7 weeks since my last live gig.
Wow! Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! And it's yeah, that's amazing. That's a long
Yeah.
time, isn't it?
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. The last time I performed was February the 10th. I did a masterclass, and on the 8th I did a concert. So
Yeah.
up in snowy Canada,
Yeah.
and
By the way, I'm related to a well-known Canadian,
you are?
the actor Dave Foley.
Oh
He
yeah.
from Kids in the Hall. Yeah, he's married to my sister,
Oh
and
my gosh.
they live right around the corner from you. I'm guessing.
From from me in Toronto?
No, no, here in Studio City. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
gosh, they might, sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was a guest on our show. Actually, he
Oh,
played piano horribly.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to
He
say I
didn't
have to
let us
look it up,
know
and then
that he
I'm thinking
wasn't.
maybe I won't. Anyway, it's so lovely to have of you to have me on because this is really my first interview and performance since all of
Well,
this
we're
happened.
we're blessed and honored to have you here, and of course, if you could play another song, and then we'll say goodbye to you and tell everybody where to go and get your music and stuff like that. We appreciate it. When it does open up, we got to have you down at the club, Cats, Jacks, and Steamers Jazz.
I would love that, and we all would.
Yeah.
We'll do a splash about the new CD and stuff, and make some noise. I'd like to go out on a Brazilian song because we were talking the other day, and this is from my Journey album, and there's just a nice little lead up to it because Oscar Castro Neves, who's no longer with us, I remember I called him. He had produced an album for me back in 2003, and the Journey album is an album about travel songs, and I asked him which song in Portuguese should I record. He said, "Oh, that's a piece of cake. The Jet song, Samba do Avião." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, first of all, the English lyrics were written by Gene Lees, who wrote a lot of Jobim's
Yeah.
English lyrics, and he was originally from Canada. So he said, well, you should do it for that reason, but also the fact that it's all about the Jet song is, in fact, the lyric." The lyric in English mirrors exactly what the lyric says in Portuguese. So I'm going to sing it to you in both languages so that everybody can understand. And
Thank you.
thank you
Nice.
again. There we go. Now, again, I normally have a bass player playing the bass down here, so I hope I don't mess this up. Minha alma canta, vejo Rio de Janeiro. Estou morrendo de saudade. E o teu mar parece sem fim. E você foi feito pra mim. Cristo Redentor, braços abertos sobre a Guanabara. Este samba é só porque eu gosto de você. A morena vai sambar, sempre que eu tô balançar. E eu te sou de céu de mar, dentro de mais um minuto estaremos no galeão. Rio de Janeiro, Rio de Janeiro. La, 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 la. How my heart is singing. I see Rio de Janeiro. My lonely, longing days are over. Real my love there by the sea. Real my love waiting for me. See the cable cars that swing above the Bay of Guanabara. Tiny sailboats far below, they dance the samba as they go. Shining Rio, there you lie, a city of sun, sea, and sky. Now mountains of green so high, this won't be near at the airport of Galeão. Rio de Janeiro, Rio de Janeiro. Cristo Redentor, braços abertos sobre a Guanabara. Este samba é só porque eu gosto de você. A morena vai sambar, seu corpo todo balançar. Rio de sol, de céu, de mar, dentro de mais de um minuto estaremos no galeão. Até
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You don't need no bass player.
Oh,
I know.
you saw me jumping around down there. I was like, I hope I
And it was great to hear it in Portuguese and Canadian.
Yeah, in Canadian. Yeah, exactly. I don't say A anymore. You know, I'm American now, which I'm very proud to be. So, anyway.
Well, we're so honored to have you here. We appreciate you coming and wish you the best. Carol Welsman CarolWelsman.com.
No,
and
Carol,
Carol Welsman Jazz
On Facebook?
Right.
Yeah.
Facebook. Beautiful. And we wish you the best and be safe and all that stuff, and take care of those 2 Labradors.
I will. And thank you all so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Good to see you, Carol.
Just up the street and down around the block, you'll find a little cozy spot. A place that's really hot. You'll hardly notice when you're passing by, unless you have an eagle eye. 'Cause if you peek inside, you'll get caught up in the mood with everybody who's feeling so in tune. Inside that small cafe, all night and noon, it's time to break give life a shake up. This is the one perfect place to go and get away. It's so outrageous, music and love in the air. Everyone should take some time and spend the day in a small cafe. Everyone is always having fun. Don't even need no alcohol, at least as I recall. Just smiles and laughter, even from the staff. They know just how to serve it up. Another venti cup, no matter for you to move. No matter who, no doubt there's always lots of room inside that small cafe for you to groove. It's time to wake up, give life a shake up. This is the one perfect place to go and get away. It's so outrageous, music and love in the air. Everyone should take some time and get away in a small cafe. Give life a shake up. It's something fun, perfect place to go and get away. They don't have to do stuff outrageous. The flowers and love in the air. Everyone should take the time to get away. It's so outrageous. It's life a shake up. It's the one perfect place to go and get away. Don't. It's all outrageous. Music and love in the air. This is what the time to spend all day in a small cafe.
We're back.
We're live. Hey, Tony, man. We've got some special things coming up here. But before I do that and let you run in, we're going to do a little intro to Ricky. I want to remind you guys that if you want to help us keep these live streams alive, there's a place you can go, and that's steamersjax.com, just like the old steamersjazz.com, but it's steamersjax, JAX.com, and there's a little button there you can donate if you're interested. We certainly would love it and help us do this along. Also want to remind you, Campus JAX, where this all started, is still open now for takeout, drive up and take out from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and help support Jack, help him keep it alive.
Right.
Tony?
And hey, I'm also going to mention this just in case, because we've had a couple times where the show is kind of shut down because the connection was lost. So if that happens, don't disappear on us. Just give it a minute or two. Check back in on Jack's Hideaway or Campus Jack's, and we will be back on to finish the show. So if it does disconnect, just be watching for that.
Yeah,
so,
refresh, reload.
Yeah. So, hey, we're going to run a quick little introduction to my friend Ricky, and then you're going to know who he is, and I can't wait to talk to him. And here we go.
Ricky Riccardi is the Director of Research Collections for the Louis Armstrong House Museum and the author of the book, What a Wonderful World, The Magic of Louis Armstrong's Later Years. Ricky lectures on Armstrong at venues around the world, including the Institute of Jazz Studies, the Satchmo Summerfest in New Orleans, the Bristol International Jazz and Blues Festival in England, and the Monterey Jazz Festival in California, as well as teaching the Music of Louis Armstrong graduate course at Queens College, and hosting various listening parties for jazz at Lincoln Center. He has recently co-produced Universal Music's Satchmo at Symphony Hall's 65th Anniversary, The Complete Concert, and Mosaic Records recordings of Louis Armstrong and the All-Stars. Simply put, there is no one more knowledgeable or passionate about keeping the legacy of Louis Armstrong alive and in the public eye. Please welcome Ricky Riccardi to Steamers Jazz at JAX.
Well, Tony, let's welcome your friend here.
Are we live? Oh, I didn't hear the.
We're live, my friend.
Your live direction. Ricky, how are you, man?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's great to meet you too, Ricky.
I haven't seen you face to face for 3.5 years now. When I was there,
been a while.
We were there with Jane at the house. So I'm gonna just say this. For those of you who watched or who know me at all and know that I'm obviously an avid Louis Armstrong fan and have collected Armstrong memorabilia to the best of my meager ability. Once I found out about the house being open in New York and the archives and all that, I started checking out. I just knew I had to get there, and then finally one day I got there, and I had already stalked this guy online because I wanted to meet him, and he gave me a tour. It was just the greatest experience. And if you ever get to New York, and I think I've said this before, but don't go to New York without going to see the archive or see the House Museum. Even if you're not as the biggest Louis Armstrong fan, it's just one of the greatest experiences and so moving and interesting. And I've sent people there who didn't really have much of a desire to go, and they just thank me profusely. And so much of that is due to this man right here, who just is the biggest, most knowledgeable guy on Louis Armstrong these days. And yeah, it's just so great. And he's so enthusiastic. I love everything you post.
Man,
So.
I don't know how to respond, but right back at you.
Yeah, well.
Well, he's taken your legacy and brought it to the West Coast,
Oh, barely. Listen, one thing I would like to have you do, Ricky, I didn't mention this to you, but I would love for you to tell the story of how you got that job, because you're not really a qualified, so we speak, a qualified archivist, right? Like,
no, God, no.
Okay, let's hear that. It's such a great story.
I might get fired at the end of it. No, the short version is I went to Rutgers. I got a bachelor's in journalism. I got a master's in jazz history and research, which as you can imagine, is a burgeoning field.
Right. You were after the money, weren't you?
I took my master's degree and I painted houses for the next 4 years. But during, which is true, but during that time, I started my Armstrong blog. I began giving lectures. I began kind of making a reputation, and I began doing research at the Louis Armstrong Archives at Queens College. And one day I saw they were hiring a project archivist to arrange, preserve, and catalog the Jack Bradley collection. I didn't know how to arrange, preserve, or catalog, but I knew Jack Bradley. And so
Yeah, and, and just so people know, Jack was a friend of Louis and a photographer who captured a lot of his later years, right?
he was,
Yeah.
yeah, personal photographer, best friend. He was his marijuana dealer. He did it all. He did it all.
Now you're fired.
Yeah. I'm going out with a blaze of glory. So finally, I applied for this job, and Michael Cogswell, it's actually kind of poignant. He passed away last
Right.
week. He was really my mentor. He was the guy who built the whole place.
Yeah.
He did an interview with me, and the first half of the interview were all Armstrong questions, which was a breeze. The second half was all library questions, archival questions, and I didn't know. I was like Ralph Cramden up there, but they brought me in for an in-person interview, and they showed me. They picked a random box of Jack Bradley photos, and they said, "This is what you're going to be working with." And Michael held up a contact sheet, and I took one look at it. I said, "Oh, that's a Mercury recording session from the fall of 1964." And there was no words on it. So they looked at it and they said, "How do you know that?" Well, I said, "That's Big Chief Moore on trombone and Eddie Shue on clarinet. And that addition to the band was only together for a certain amount of time. They only made 2 recording sessions. And about 90 minutes later, I got the job."
That is
Right
so
question,
great.
the right answer.
And they're just I don't know that there's anybody else in the world who could do that at the level you do it at. It's so great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only thing I'm qualified for. So I've been very, I've been very lucky to me. If you would have told me, I first discovered Armstrong's music when I was 15. And so if you would have told me, 25 years later, I'd be making a living doing this, I never would have believed it. So
Yeah.
I don't take anything for granted.
And again, because a lot of people who are watching this will not be familiar with it, Louis' house is a very, very simple little house in Corona, Queens, and I'll let you tell the story, but how his wife bought it, and yet, even though he could have lived almost anywhere and been in a big mansion, he chose to stay in this little place, and
Indeed. I mean, Armstrong, he leaves New Orleans in 1922, and then he spends most of his time in Chicago and New York, living out of apartments, living out of hotels. He gets married for the 4th time to a Cotton Club dancer, Lucille Wilson, in October 42. He was living at a Hotel Olga in Harlem at the time. Their honeymoon was 6 straight months of one-nighters. And Lucille said, "This is not what I signed up for." So she was the one, she actually spent part of her childhood in Corona. She was still friendly with some of the families on the block, found out that the home was for sale at 3456 107th Street, went, put down the down payment, never told Louis, moved her mother in, and then Louis, he was on tour for about 6 months, and finally the tour was about to end, and she told him, "Listen, when you come home, we have a home now in Queens." And so at first he hit the roof, and because the last thing he wanted was a home. But then he took one look at it, and the cab driver pulled up, and Louis told the cab, he said, "Oh man, quit kidding. Take me to the address, I'm supposed to be at." Because, when you drive past it, it looks like your typical Queens Archie Bunker kind of house. And, here is this, jazz's greatest genius, but he had never had anything like that before. And so to him, he took one look at it and it was too big, too lavish. What was he going to do with that? But once he saw the inside, once he met the neighbors, he saw the whole neighborhood, all the kids on the block, an integrated block, that was it. I mean, as much money, fame as he had, meeting with the Pope and stopping civil wars and appearing in, hit movies and knocking the Beatles off the charts, he always went home to this working class neighborhood and just remained a regular guy till the very end.
yeah. Boy, and I love how the house is preserved. I mean, that kitchen is so amazing. I'm constantly showing pictures of his kitchen, but I also love how Armstrong would he loved his reel-to-reel tape recorder and recorded conversations, and the way the house is set up, where you walk through the house and you hear recordings of him talking, sitting at that table talking. It's such a moving
That's great.
experience. Yeah,
That's great.
it's so
Yeah,
great.
I mean, we always tell people that this was kind of his plan and Lucille's plan too. Because after Louis passed away in '71, Lucille gave an interview. I didn't find it till about 3 or 4 years ago, in which she said, "My plan is to leave the house to the city of New York, and that way people could always see how Lewis lived." And so I think she would be happy with the direction we went. And
Yeah.
same with the tapes. I mean, we have about 750 of these reel-to-reel tapes, and on multiple tapes, Lewis says he was doing this for posterity.
Yeah.
So he wanted these tapes to be heard. He wanted it
So
to be in
great.
control of his own story.
Yeah. And the other one of the greatest thrills of my life was when you let me play Louis' horns at the archives at Queens College. Like what? I remember, and you can see it on YouTube because I put a little video together. Just I think look for Tony Guerrero plays Louis Armstrong's horns, and I remember, and I can hear it when I listen to that. I was so nervous the first note I blew, like it's just like this shaky little sound. But man, those horns were just so beautiful and so great to play, and what I just something I'll never get over. And
I don't believe I've ever seen you nervous, Tony.
oh my
That's
gosh, I'm nervous all the time. So now Ricky is also an author, and you're just finishing up your second book. Is that correct? Because
Yeah,
I read your first one, which is great. What a
thank
wonderful
you.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first one is just about, it's weird, the way I'm doing this was never what I set out to do, but my first book, What a Wonderful World, is about the last 25 years of Louis Armstrong's life. He formed a small group, the All-Stars, he broke up his big band, and I take it from that period until his passing in 1971. That was always kind of my goal. I finished that book, and I said, well, I'm done now.
Right.
All I
Well,
have to
because
do.
that era hadn't been covered nearly as much as all of his early stuff. Right.
That was the goal. And then I started going out in the field, talking to musicians, talking to students, and I realized that the big band years were just as neglected. If Lewis is taught in jazz education programs, it's up to 1928, and everything he did afterwards is pretty much brushed under the carpet. So I decided to write a prequel. And so this next book is going to be called Heart Full of Rhythm, The Big Band Years of Louis Armstrong. It's going to be out in Oxford University Press, fingers crossed, August or so. I just submitted the final edits this week, so we are ready to roll. But yeah, this picks up the story in 1929 when Lewis comes to New York and pretty much becomes a star and takes it till the end of the big band era and the beginning of the All-Stars. So actually both books will kind of flow together seamlessly. And I'm already getting pressure to finish the job and make it a trilogy and do 1901 to 1928, but one step at a time.
Right.
so Ricky, for the uninitiated or the not the fanboy like Tony is, how could somebody get a hold of seeing what you're doing, purchase your books, and see online your presence or whatever? A little
Sure.
bit information.
Well,
Yeah, there's some
yeah.
great stuff going on right now that they're presenting online for people like stuck in quarantine. What a great thing you're doing. Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
this actually kind of came about. It's the craziest thing because about 4 years ago at the archives, we got a $2.7 million grant from Robert F. Smith Fund to Foundation to digitize the entire collection. So everything's digitized.
And you got my $1 million grant too, right?
We got it.
Yeah.
The check,
Okay.
yeah, it didn't clear, but we got it. Um, so, so the pandemic hits, the House Museum closes, the archives close, Queens College closes. What do we do? I'll admit this. It's a very small staff. We all thought, well, that's the end of us. But my cohort, Sarah Rose, she's the archivist there. She had the idea maybe we should do a virtual exhibit. And our acting director, a guy named Jeff Rosenstock, he had the idea because, well, everybody's stuck at home. We have a house museum. We have all of the fruits of Lewis's labors, all of his hobbies. Why don't we make the exhibit about Lewis at home? And that's all I needed. And so we have now done about 5 or 6 major posts. Every Monday we go with a big content heavy post using these digitized archives. I have access to everything. And so we're telling curated stories of how did Lewis warm up? What's in his record collection? What was his fascination with collages? One going up tomorrow about the neighbors and the actual neighborhood. One next week coming up on race. One on Lucille. And so me and the whole little staff of 4 or 5 of us, we're putting our heads together, editing audio, editing videos, putting together photos, the whole thing. And so that is probably the best thing you can do because it's the kind of thing, if I had to choose, I would not want a pandemic. I would rather be in Queens right now. But it's the ultimate definition of making, lemonade from lemons, because here we are, we're telling these stories and putting together these virtual exhibits, something that we were all way too busy to do. So you can check that out. at virtualexhibits.lewisarmstronghouse.org. And the name of the exhibit is That's My Home. And so once you're there, you can hear the audio and see photos and the whole thing, and it's really exciting. So that's the best way to check up on what's going on now. I do my blog, which I started back in my house painting days, is still going. That's at Dippermouth, which is one of Lewis's nicknames, dippermouth.blogspot.com. And I finished a series earlier this year of covering every single that Lewis made between 1929 and 1934. It was about, I don't know, 70 posts or something like that, but that's all up there. And then the books are all on Amazon. I'm on Facebook. I'm easy to find. And yeah, I'm pretty much all Armstrong all the time. So between the blog and the archives work and CDs, I have a box set coming out. Mosaic Records will be out this fall. All Lewis's Columbia and RCA stuff from the 50s and 60s. Yeah, I know. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. So just find me if you love Louis Armstrong, and good things will happen.
Right on. Well, man, thank you so much for being here with us, and I love everything that you do. I'm so grateful for the work you do, and I'm glad that I get to just kind of expose that to some people watching, and hopefully they'll go check it out too. And Terrence, you should really learn who Louis Armstrong is.
Yes, I am. I was going to say, we really appreciate it. I'm a sax guy. I gotta go over into that other kind of brass instrument. But Ricky, really nice meeting you. Really appreciate you coming here. And in parting, I wanted to ask Tony something though. Is there anything on Ricky's wall that you would like to take, or?
You know what? If he were sitting in the Armstrong house, I would say absolutely.
Tony has this thing about finding things on people's walls here that he sees, and he does this manipulation to somehow get it. So,
Yeah, so
I'm
far
hoping.
it hasn't worked once, but
What a pleasure, Ricky.
Yeah. Till next time. Thank you, guys.
Take care. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
We're live.
Well,
hey everybody.
Hey Tony.
What's up?
Hey guys.
Hi Gila. Hi Shay. How are you?
So good to see you.
Pleasure to see you there.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming along.
Yeah, beautiful show.
Where are you guys located? Just so everybody knows where you're calling in from.
We're Santa Monica, California.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's not your decorating, Shay? That's
my living room. Yep. Yeah, there may be a cat that climbs back and forth at some point. We'll see.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Well, I'm just going to start off and ask it because probably a lot of people who are watching this have never seen one up close. But can you tell us about the Grammy that's back there on the? That's a piano back there, right?
Yeah.
That's not close.
Closer. Don't look too close. It's I got it a bunch of years ago.
Beautiful.
I do a lot of classical contemporary music.
Yeah.
And with orchestras. And it's this absolutely beautiful piece, a really well-known classical composer living in New York. His name's John Corigliano. And he wrote this piece with Bob Dylan poetry, but like his music.
Yeah.
And I won Best Vocalist for it.
Beautiful.
Oh, congratulations.
So great.
Yeah, that deserves a clap.
Yeah.
So how do you guys
I'll have to look
handle
for that.
it?
I haven't heard that. That sounds very fascinating. I'd love to hear that. So
beautiful piece. Yeah, really special.
Go ahead.
How are you handling this sheltering in place stuff here?
I know there's a lot going out there, a lot of mayhem outside, but as a musician, I have been able to move a lot of what I do online. All my teaching has made it online, and I'm actually enjoying all this time. The two songs you hear today basically were finished during the lockdown, and so we were able to get that all up and running. So I've been just practicing and writing. I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I just realize how much time I waste, like stuck in traffic in my car, putting together a freelancer's life. So I'm loving kind of just getting up every day and playing, practicing, writing, and so I'm not all for it. I mean, but I'm actually getting a lot done.
Sure.
Great.
Yeah. There's my wife and I were talking recently about just some of the good things that none of us want this happening, but there are some really interesting good things that are part of it, like, I mean, I've got two young kids, like we're doing stuff with them that we don't do normally. And
Me too. I have a 14-year-old and he's he's actually really happy.
Yeah.
And in life, any situation, there's wonderful things to learn from, and I think we're all kind of learning about ourselves and what we need
Exactly.
and the
Right.
I was just gonna say that is that you get to learn about yourself and learn to love yourself, and if not, you're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Terrence, you've got your work cut out for you.
yeah,
So
I know that. I knew that was coming, and that was trust me, that was set up just for Tony to get a dig
Yeah.
at me. Lately, I've been prodding him a little bit too much in that respect, so I deserve it. Bravo to you, Tony. And but no, it's. I think we all look at it that way. But I found out a lot of things about myself that I hadn't done, and that I didn't even look or think about before. And I've certainly explored a lot of different music that I hadn't been doing for so long.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've been so grateful. Well, first, so much of this kind of jazz path that I've taken the last couple of years has been because of this incredible musician.
Mhm.
And then also the things that we've been doing streaming, there's this discovery about how connected we all are that
right,
comes because of this separation that we're forced into, and yet we're finding ways to really communicate our love to one another, and it's
right.
unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
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 Tony just showed a beautiful example of that, showing that love to me. Right?
All right.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what you guys want to do something for us?
Yeah, we'd love to. So this is a song I wrote. It's called "The Dream That Never Ends," and let's do that first. Is that
Yeah,
cool?
it's a beautiful bossa nova. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
In my dream that never ends, your soft song fills the night. The blue rain falls, the red moon glows, the black wind churns. You call out my name. Into the darkness I run. I follow your voice, and soon I am by your side. In your arms I feel your strength, but you choose my one weakness. You touch my thigh, you kiss my neck, you clutch my breast. Destiny, fill me with ecstasy. It's pure like a flame, the dream that never ends. In your arms I feel your strength, but you choose my one weakness. You touch my thigh, you kiss my neck, you clutch my breast. Destiny, fill me with ecstasy. It's pure like a flame.
Lovely,
Oh,
lovely, fantastic, fantastic.
thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh man. So yeah, I was just chatting up a little bit, and I just think it's just a wonderful thing how people have learned to deal with it, and most of the artists we talk to have talked about tapping into a part of their art that they've not even approached before. It's just a wonderful thing, and you got to look at the positive part of it.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a thing where you're moving so fast to keep your career going in LA. You just have to constantly keep pushing it. And this has allowed it to slow down and just, I feel like my brain is caught up on all the things that it had to process and all. And then it opens it up to just be creative. It opens that space where you can just dream about, a new song or whatever, rather than, worried about getting stuck on the freeway because you're late to your next appointment. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
kind of great in that way.
Yeah.
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 Oh, sorry. Terrence, I thought you were saying something.
No. I'm waiting for you, Tony.
No. I've got nothing.
I'm trying not to hog the camera.
I just changed dresses, so I'm good.
I knew something was different. I thought
I
it
was
was
going to say,
Terrence.
wow, you
Yeah.
look beautiful.
You never get a chance to dress up. So it's this, I love these things because I love
Right.
going to concerts and doing this, and I don't do it anymore.
Hey, I have a lot of ties and suits that I don't get to wear except for Sunday nights for a couple of hours. So
Isn't it awesome?
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
No time like the present, right?
right.
Yep.
So tell us about the institute.
Okay, I ended up, I think it's 3 years ago. I have always taught and had private students and taught some bands in school as well. And I teach a USC's guitar seminar in the summer, which is preparing students for school. So I've always taught, and it just seemed there was a need on the west side of LA in the area like Santa Monica, Venice, Brentwood, to have this institute where you have all these kids that are working real hard at their schools, but this is sort of the travel team, the all stars. So we have some of the best kids from all the schools in the area who before the shutdown, we got together every weekend for like 2 hours at the West Side Music Conservatory. We're right on the corner of Wilshire and 26th Street. So just have these kids that are really, really working hard at this jazz craft. And some of them are in we go from like fifth grade up
Wow.
through 12th grade. And
Fifth grade's pretty young for that. That's great.
we have,
Yeah.
boy, we have
They're
some,
amazing.
some incredible young players. Actually, Hila's son is actually a bass player
Yeah.
in it. And I'm going to, but here's the thing, during the shutdown, looking at opportunities, since it all went online, we've added a international component to it. We now have a keyboard player from Panama and a guitarist from India.
Wow.
So we're just we're expanding, man. We'll take anybody who really wants to work hard from all over the world or the country. So it's been an interesting expansion. And
Yeah.
then one more thing I want to say, we just the Downbeat Student Music Awards just came out, and one of our members just won his second award. His name's Ben Walker.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so we got ourselves up on the map. I just push, the kids come to me, they have the talent, and I just organize them and teach them how to practice correctly and push them really hard.
And where can people learn more about that online?
My website, shaywelsh.com. So
Okay.
It's called the Shea Welsh Jazz Institute.
Got it. Okay.
And he's a saint. I don't know how he does what he does with these kids. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Good. Congratulations on that.
thank you.
You have another song for us?
Yeah, you want to, let's do One More Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So this is another one that I wrote. I was actually asked, I went to Towson University in Baltimore for my undergrad, and USC got me out here. I came and did my grad degree, but Towson during the shutdown was asking for their alumni to submit songs or whatever kind of art they might have done. So I somewhat wrote this song with that in mind, but also so that it can be on the next record that we're putting together as well. So this one out there, and I'll throw one out too. If any Towson people are listening, we had Hank Levy was our band director who wrote the theme song for the Whiplash. Whiplash. Come on,
Oh,
that was
wow.
his. Whiplash was actually
Sweet.
his song. Yeah. So it was a great
Interesting.
place to study, but this went out to them.
All right,
Ready?
perfect.
One
All
more
right.
tomorrow.
Yes.
I wish you one more tomorrow, one last chance to find the meaning in this lost romance. Let's seek out beauty against the grim. We must live bolder, not afraid to act on a whim. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you, we'll have a Guinness in Galway, go see the ballet in Belarus. We'll drive the Tesla to Tulsa in the rain. We'll pray to Buddha in Bangkok. We'll drink Merlot in a French chateau. We'll ride a Mustang on the beach in Malibu. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you, we'll fly to Brussels to eat mussels. We'll go hear Mahler at the Met. We'll learn to surf and hula dance in Oahu. We'll plant a tree at every truck stop. We'll save a sloth in Panama. We'll feed a baby monkey's mama in Mumbai. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you. Time, there's no time today. Time. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you. And there'll be no room for sorrow, no need to beg for time or borrow. If I get one more tomorrow with you. If I get one more tomorrow with you.
Now we're live.
Now we're live. Hey, wow, that was great. You know, what a pleasure. And to meet Gila, you know, I was unfamiliar with her before, and I had a little conversation before this thing came up, and she was so sweet, and Shay's such a great guy. That was a
Right.
pleasure having him.
I've-
So anyway, go ahead,
No,
Tony.
go ahead. I was going to say, like, during the shutdown, I've been, catching a lot of other streaming videos and people, and it's actually been interesting how many people I'm getting to know, like artists that I wasn't familiar with, are not very familiar with, that I'm starting to get to know just this way, and it's been pretty fascinating. It's great.
It's great.
So
It's great. You know, and we're trying to keep this up, right? You know,
we
so
are.
we could use your help in any way. If you want to help us out by a little donation, you could go to Steamers JAX, JAX.com, and there's a place there that there's like a little virtual tip jar, and help us support doing this. I want to remind you, coming next week, who do we have coming next week? I forgot already, and I lost my phone.
Kate
Where's
Reed
my
is
phone?
coming next week.
Kate Reed, one jazz vocalist and pianist,
Yeah,
and I
fantastic.
gotta
And her
going.
and her husband
You talking?
her husband Steve Reed is a fantastic trumpet player, and I happen to know he toured with Prince for a while because my friend Elisa also
Yeah,
did that with him, and yeah, great trumpet player.
and an
And they're in Florida
incredible.
now. She used to be regular at Steamers, but they're in Florida now.
That's right. And I think University of thing. And then of
Right.
course Bruce Foreman, incredible jazz guitarist, and Bruce also has worked and collaborated with Clint Eastwood's last three movies that he's done, including Million Dollar Baby, which is one of my favorite things. He did the compositions there, and he played the guitar through the whole thing. And he is just the most wonderful guy, and you're going to have a lot of fun with Bruce there. So, and then we've got a lot of things coming up, some special, very, very big name people that you would not even be be associated with someone like me or Tony. But, well, maybe Tony, And also, we're going to start bringing some of our local Southern California talent that played at Campus Jacks a lot. We've got some wonderful people we're going to bring
You
in.
mean that play at Campus Jacks?
Did I say played?
You did.
Yeah, yeah, that currently play. That's
Yeah.
right. They're on the roster.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
We're not done.
Well,
Yeah.
it's all a matter of perspective. We're looking at it. We want to look positively.
But we also have
So,
some really cool stuff left for this show just in the next few minutes. So
surprise,
yeah,
surprise.
you need to give some websites or anything like that? Did you already do all that?
Yes.
And let's
Yeah.
mention the
No, I'll
food.
do that right.
Let's mention Jack's being open.
Yes, I'm going to talk about that. It's curbside food at Campus Jacks. Jack Jasper, our boss over there, he's going to be he's still doing his curbside food Monday through Saturday, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. The food's great. Call him up. It's wonderful. He's even got his son working there all the time now. It's great. I
As
love
I
that.
understand that, you call in your order and then you go out
Yes,
and you sit on the street and they bring the food to the curb, and so you get to eat it while it's on the curb. Is that how
that's
I
right.
understand
That's
it?
right.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
And if it's a hot day, they don't cook your eggs before. They
They
just
just
put it
put it
on the
right there. Okay,
no.
I just want to be sure. Okay.
No,
So no, you
no.
take it home, you pick it up, you take it home, and I'm gonna have
And it's
to.
fantastic food.
I may have to be. I'm driving by there tomorrow. Maybe I'll have to stop and get some jack shrimp
I
to bring
know.
home.
And then, of course, we can also talk about AnthonyWilsonMusic.com, Carol Welsman Jazz.com or CarolWelsman.com. And we just had Gila Plitman.com and ShayWelsh.com. And I think that's about it. Is there anything else? Of course, SteamersJacks.com if you want to help support this and keep it coming. We're going to be here next week, of course, like I said, with Bruce Foreman and Kate.
Check out. I don't remember the website, but check out the Louis Armstrong stuff that's being streamed.
That's
Or
right. That's right.
the Louis Armstrong House. It's actually Louis, but Louis Armstrong House museum.org. I think that's it.
Yes.
No museum. LouisArmstrongHouse.org.
Now, if you're a Louis Armstrong fan, you say Louis. If you don't know your stuff, you say Louis Armstrong, right?
Louis just flows off the tongue a little better, so I let it
but
slide.
I also want to say a couple of quick thanks to Jack Jasper at Campus Jacks, Janvier Vargas, Holden, John Wynn, et cetera, and Tony Guerrero and Tim Ellis.
All right, so listen up, everybody. We're going to ask you now to stand up wherever you are in front of your laptop or your computer or your phone. No, not you, Terrence. You sit down. Everybody who's watching, stand up, clear a little space, because we're going to teach you a dance that was choreographed especially for our song Jumpin' at Jack's that we premiered a couple weeks ago. The couple that you saw dancing, that instructor, Tony Nunez, is with us, and he is going to teach you that dance right now, and then we're going to play the video so you can dance the night away in the comfort of your very own home without us making fun of you. So get up, and here's Tony Nunez to do that.
Hey everybody, Tony Nunez here, aka New Tony, and I'm here to teach you a little bit of Lindy Charleston to go with your happy schwingin' staycation with our Campus JAX crew for this Sunday project. Okay, so first things first, everything's gonna be kind of like in 8 counts. We're gonna start off with a single time swing basic. It's gonna go slow, slow, quick, quick. That starts to my left. So if you see me from behind, I go slow, slow, quick, quick. We're gonna do 2 of those, and on the second one, that quick, quick or rock step is gonna be a double rock. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slow, slow, rock step, and then rock again, close your feet, okay? After that, we've got what we call we get these jump backs. So we're gonna go jump and slap, 5, 6, 7, 8. After that, we've got this swivel section. So we've got a slow swivel to the left, a slow swivel to the right, then quick, 6, 7, 8. So far, the whole thing together goes slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, 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 quick together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right after this, we're in the home stretch. We're going to be doing our Charleston. So we go step, kick, 3, 4, step, kick, 7, 8. Repeat. Step, kick, 3, 4, step, kick, 7, 8. And then we're going to do what we call a spot turn or a walk around turn. We go step and pivot, forward, step and pivot, forward. One more, step and pivot, forward, and then a kick, 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 kick. Ta-da! So the whole thing goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slow, slow, quick, 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 quick together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Walk around, 3, 4. Walk around, 7, 8. One more walk around, and a 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom! And now, with music.
We are live. We're back. All right. So
Tony, you sure that wasn't
What's that?
You dancing there?
No. But I was dancing here. Trust me.
Okay.
So listen. What we're gonna expect from all of you is now we're gonna run the video in a second, and you can practice your dance with the video of the song. That's gonna close off our night tonight. But next time we're all back together at JAX and my band's there and we get to play that tune, we expect to see all of you on the dance floor, you as well, Terrence, doing that dance with everybody. So
I already got it down.
All right, good.
I already got it down, man.
All right, Terrence, I love you. Thanks for another.
I love you too, man. Next week, Bruce Foreman, Kate Reed, go. Come support us. SteamersJax.com. Stay well, everybody.
All right, and here's the video one more time for you. Jumping at JAX. Thanks for being with us. We will see you next time.
Time to get your collar pressed. Time to get yourself all dressed. Time to get your shiny dance shoes on, 'cause everybody's jumping at JAX. All the kids are coming down, just to dig the swinging sound. You can hear the band from miles away, 'cause everybody's jumping at JAX. Here's a little well-known secret, sure as there's the sky above. Nothing could be any sweeter than dancing with the one you love. When life is like a sour note, here's a happy antidote. Come to where the party never ends, 'cause everybody's jumping at JAX.